shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Behave yourselves!
Hello, YouTubers out there. This is Saravia at the movies. So we got yet another little new angle to The Day the Clown Cried. Now, for those of you who have followed my channel for quite a while, are aware that I've talked about The Day the Clown Cried for quite some time. Jerry Lewis's supposedly unfinished cut of a film that was never released, never shown to anybody except for certain people in the business, the motion picture business, that is. So this was a film about the Holocaust and all that. I'm not going to get into all that. I think most of you probably know already what the film is about. But however, there's some news here that is rather interesting. Now, as some of you know, last year, the Library of Congress was able to show 5 hours of footage of The Day the Clown Cried. Finally, after 10 years, since Jerry Lewis passed on. So for some reason, Jerry Lewis's stipulation was, yes, the film will be available for people to view at the Library of Congress, but not for a decade. So a decade has passed. I guess some people have seen it. Not the greatest notices it's been receiving. We all know that. It's considered one of the worst films ever made that has never been seen by the movie-going public. So with that in mind, Christopher Lewis, all right, who is Jerry Lewis's son, on the Rarefied Air podcast, which somebody recommended I should listen to, and I did. It's a 35-minute long podcast. If you look for it, it's really quite good. I'll try to put a link for it below. So in there, he stipulates, the son, that Jerry Lewis didn't have the rights to the film, that the producer never purchased the rights from the writer, and that Lewis basically rewrote it, and that now Jerry Lewis's son wants the film to be seen. That's what he said. And so the film was shot in France and Sweden, but the footage, I guess, of the first cut or rough cut or whatever it is was never found. So, but then, here's this story of a guy, a Swedish actor named Hans Crispin. And he reportedly stole a copy of the film in 1980 for a production studio called Europa Film. And this is per the Sweden Herald. So this guy, Hans Crispin, had claimed to Swedish broadcaster SVT that he stole a copy from the production studio. So he copied the film onto a VHS tape and showed it to several people, and has kept it along with the original manuscripts in a bank vault ever since. Now, according to the National, Crispin also screened a copy for journalists from SVT and Sweden's Icon magazine to prove his claim was true. And he said, and I quote, "You're the 23rd and 24th people I've shown it to. We know more about this film than any other unfinished film in history." I mean, they are still looking for the magnificent Ambersons. And I believe there's a documentary that was shot that is about the search for the original cut of the film before it was taken by the studios, Orson Welles' film, and then recut, and they shot a happy ending and all this stuff. But not even that film has been discussed as much as this one. And it's so fascinating. It makes me want to see this film more and more. Now, I've seen some of the footage that made its way to YouTube and then was taken down. Awful. Completely dry. Just, it had no energy whatsoever. None. That was the biggest issue, because this film is just, Jerry Lewis hated it. He did not like this film. So you got Christopher Lewis saying the footage was never found, and now you got this guy who says he has the copy, and he showed it to these people. So you hear all these different things. I don't know what the hell's going on. So what do the rest of you think? Do you think this film will finally see the light of day? Will it be shown in some rough cut way? Is Criterion Collection going to make it part of their thing? I mean, what the hell's going to happen here. It's a very curious film. I mean, I've heard this film for years. It was mentioned in the Golden Turkey Awards by the Medved brothers back in, I think that was from the late 70s or early 80s, that book. I remember reading it or borrowing it from the library back in the 80s. This is just, it's insane. The infamy makes it more and more a film that you just need to see. You need to watch. And I'm not the biggest Jerry Lewis fan. I'm a fan of him as a serious actor, not necessarily as a comedian. But this is just one film that, I mean, I have to see it. It's like, you know, if you know that book, 1001 Films to See Before You Die, this could be one of those 1001 films that you need to see before you die. I mean, it's become that at this point. So we'll see what happens. Tell me what the rest of you think. Do you think this film will finally see the light of day? We'll see. If you are a subscriber already, thank you. Please hit the notification bell for future uploads. If you aren't a subscriber, please hit like and subscribe. I do review films and talk about film-related topics and all sorts of things related to cinema. So that's all I got to say about this. Until we hear more news, I'm going to keep tabs on this, and I have been for quite some time. So this is Jerry Saravia at the Movies, signing off.